A hash table is a data structure that lets you find data very quickly. It works fast even if there is a lot of data. Because of this, hash tables are common in databases, caching, and programming tasks. Imagine a simple array. If you want an item, you could check each element one by one. This is called a linear search. For a large array, it can take a long time. Now, suppose you know the index of the item. You can access it immediately. The time it takes does not depend on the array's size or the item's position. But how do you know the correct index for a value? Each index can be calculated from the value itself. For example, take a word, get the ASCII codes of its letters, add them together, then divide by the number of array slots and take the remainder. The remainder gives the index. Now, we have a hash table with 10 empty slots. Each name has its own unique index. For example, let's take Olivia. We can do the same calculation for her and her index will be 7. For Liam, we apply the same process and his index is 2. John also gets her own index, which is 6. We can repeat the same calculation for all the other names as well. Now our table is full. Suppose we want to access a particular value. We first perform the same mathematical calculation on the key. This tells us exactly which index the value is stored at. Once we know the index, we can access the value directly. This is what makes hash tables so fast and efficient. But what happens if the hash function produces the same index for two different keys? Let's assume the table is completely empty. When we apply the hash function to Tim, the index is 1. For Liam, the index is 2. So far, there is no issue. Now suppose we apply the same hash function to Len and the result is also 1. This situation is called a collision because index 1 is already occupied. There are two common techniques to handle collisions. The first option is linear probing, which is a form of open addressing. In this method, if the calculated index is occupied, we check the next index in the array and continue sequentially until we find an empty slot. Its advantage is that it does not require additional data structures and is simple to implement. However, it can cause primary clustering, which may significantly reduce performance as the load factor increases. The second option is chaining, also known as separate chaining. In this approach, each index of the table stores a linked list or another dynamic structure. If multiple keys hash to the same index, they are stored in that list. The advantage is that performance remains more stable even when the table becomes crowded. The disadvantage is that it requires extra memory for the additional nodes and pointers. Now let's briefly discuss performance and the load factor. The load factor is the number of occupied slots divided by the total number of slots in the table. It shows how full the hash table is. A low load factor means fewer collisions and faster access time. As the load factor increases, collisions become more frequent and performance may decrease. For this reason, many hash tables are dynamic. When the load factor reaches a certain threshold, the table is resized and all elements are rehashed into a larger array. Now, let's practice what we learned in Python. First, we created a hash table with 11 slots and defined a simple ASCII hash function. This function adds up the ASCII values of each character in a name and takes modulo 11 to find the correct index. The insert function places the name directly into the calculated index in the table. The search function repeats the same hash calculation to quickly locate the name's index. If the name isn't in the table, it returns not found. We tested the table with names like B, Tim, Liam, Mo, Mia, Noah, Jan, Olivia, Max, Ada, and Ted. Each name falls into its correct hash index with no collisions. Then we searched for Mo, Ada, and Ethan. Mo and Ada were found, while Ethan returned not found since it wasn't in the table. This example clearly shows how hash tables allow fast access to values and highlights the importance of a hash function. For more tutorials, you can check out the courses section on the channel. To support us, you can subscribe and join the channel. Keep learning.